just want to be given the chance.
You were the pioneers that built women's football.
The opportunity to succeed. Or even to fail.
You are the league of their own.
Figure out what the you need to do mentally to be able to sacrifice everything for the girl next to you.
You better knock the shit out of her.
Put the hurt on them first. Keep them on the ground. Stick your foot on their throat.
The Eastern Conference Atlanta Steam stormed the field for LFL Football Night. Hello, LFL fans. Mitch Mortaza joining you alongside Bobby Huco once again. We are in the Eastern Conference. We've got the Atlanta Steam versus the Omaha Heart. Hopefully, we've got a better game for you Omaha fans tonight. Now, it is getting to that time of the year where the standings start becoming a little more relevant, Bobby. So let's take a look at them now. You've got the Chicago Bliss, clearly the leaders of the Eastern Conference at 2-0. Behind them, an Atlanta Steam team at 1-1 that feels they are just as good as Chicago. And then the Omaha Heart at 0-2, kind of feels like 0-7, Bobby.
Absolutely. It has become a two-horse race between Chicago, the champs, and Atlanta. It's going to come down to those two. Omaha has become their battering ram. Over the last 8 quarters, they lost by 128 points. I went to the University of Florida, not that great at math, but that's an average loss, 64 points a game. For them to have any chance tonight, they have to play good, sound, fundamental football. No fumbles on a quarterback-center exchange, basic tackling, basic football. Other than that, it'll be another blowout.
Yeah, and I think another key story there is the quarterback, Ashley Amick. She's a little beat up tonight, not sure that she's going to start. Look for Jenna Holt to potentially get the start tonight. Another wrinkle for Omaha, potentially a bad one. On the other side of the ball, you've got the Atlanta Steam. This time last year, the 2014 Steam did not have Dina Wojcicki, Lauren Ziegler, or Adrian Purnell. Why? Because they were playing for Jacksonville, and they were playing Jacksonville in the Eastern Conference Championship. For those of you great LFL fans, you remember this bench-clearing brawl that happened, and Ziegler, Wojcicki, and Purnell had a huge role in it. Of course, Purnell was the one who connected a left hook to Dane Robinson, now Atlanta head coach Dane Robinson's right cheek. We all saw it on national television. The thing went viral. Now fast forward to 2015. They play for the Atlanta Steam, an interesting dynamic. And so we decided to throw Audra Marie into the fire again this week. We sent her to Atlanta to sit down with Dina Wojcicki, Adrian Purnell, and Lauren Ziegler and find out what that dynamic is like now.
Ladies, you were involved in the most notorious LFL fight in history with 5 million YouTube views later. Can you tell me what happened?
The coach, as our current coach, Dane Robinson, was very antagonistic throughout that game. A little bit of chirp, a little bit of talk every time you walk by. So I think what happened was a build-up over 5 quarters of football as we went into overtime kind of spilled out over. So a lot of the emotion, a lot of the fact that we are now facing another year of disappointment spilled over into what the end result was a giant melee.
Adrian, you threw quite the impressive punch on your now current coach Dane Robinson's face. Can you tell me what led up to that moment?
I mean, throughout the entire game, he was antagonizing me, and I was actually in the works of trying to pay people to beat his ass after the game because don't fuck with me or my team. So he knew what he was doing. So when he gave me the opportunity and actually pushed me, I told him, don't put your hands on me again because I'll whoop your ass. And his girl told me, I dare you to put your hands on my coach. Don't double dog dare me to do anything because I'm down for the cause.
You guys now travel 7 hours to practice weekly. Tell me, what keeps you guys going?
Our sisters, actually. Our sisters keep us going. The love of the sport keeps us going. We were really passionate about this league and about this sport. So for just that alone, it gives us the mentality and the motivation to keep going. But it honestly and truthfully, if it wasn't for the 4 girls in our vehicle driving 7 hours, it would be really hard to do. So I have my sisters to thank for that, to help me keep pursuing and keep fighting for this goal and this dream that we want, in which to win the Legends Cup is what we want and our goal is. So again, if it wasn't for them, it would be very, very difficult to do.
Rarely are you given an opportunity to play something that is groundbreaking, that is providing an evolution to something that has never been done before. So when you are part of that pioneering group there's a drive there to want to see it, want to see the best product, want to see the best end result. And because we've never quite been able to put that icing on the cake of what the best result has been, it's a constant fire that drives you. And people don't always understand it. They're like, why would you spend all your weekends doing this? Why would you spend all your time? You know, you could be doing so many other things. The problem is that when you have a mentality of a football player but can't express it anywhere else but on that field, you've got to go where the field is. You've got to go, and you've got to travel and be willing to do it, to put out to where your passion is.
Amen. Obviously, clearer heads have prevailed, and they are way past that bench clearing brawl. The real focus for Wojciechowski, Pennell, and Ziegler is their first ever championship. Back to you guys.
An interesting dynamic, to say the least, Audra Marie. Now, before we kick it off, we take you inside the Atlanta locker room.
I think Coach Dominic said it perfectly. I talk about being great. Be perfect tonight. Everything that you do will have a purpose behind it. Every rep, every tackle, every catch, every snap. And don't get it twisted. When you step out on that field, you put somebody on the ground. I hate to say it, but this team has some malicious intent, and that's okay. That's all right. Because they're stepping into our house, our field of business. If it ain't not here to play, if you're not here to play football, then so fucking be it.
Welcome back inside the factory. Gwinnett Center just outside Atlanta, Georgia. And we've got the Atlanta Steam and the Omaha Heart. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Huco, Audra Marie on the sidelines. Looking forward to a decent ball game here tonight, Bobby.
Omaha is huge underdogs, Mitch. Obviously, they have not scored a point all season. They need to come up with something tonight.
And that's Shaylin Durham with a high, deep kick. Naz Johnson, the shifty running back, getting it out, still on her feet to about the 21-yard line. Amanda Hogan on the tackle.
We talked about Naz Johnson, how she can turn on the Jets, and she just did right there.
Now the Atlanta Steam offense coming out to the field. Let's meet their starters.
Dina Wojciechowski, your center. Naz Johnson, Lightning running back.
Coco Montgomery, your tight end.
Jody Nettles, wide receiver.
Lauren Ziegler, wide receiver.
Adrian Purnell, your tight end.
Dakota Hughes, quarterback.
It's going to be fun tonight watching Dakota Hughes go to her top two targets. Jody Nettles and Lauren Ziegler, who has really had an outstanding season so far.
A 1st and 10 from the 21. That is exactly what they're going to do on the left side to Lauren Ziegler. And just like that, Bobby, you called it. Atlanta gets on the scoreboard.
As an ex-quarterback, we had a saying to a top receiver, a go-to receiver like Ziegler, she's open when she's covered. She was covered right there, but Dakota threw the ball up and she came down with it. What a start for Atlanta.
And it did not take long, Bobby. 1:07 off the clock, 29-yard play. And there are the numbers on Hughes. Impressive to say the least this season. 20 out of 36, 7 touchdowns and 0 picks.
She has not been sacked all season. That front line, Dina Wojciechowski, Coco Montgomery, and Adrian Purnell, giving her maximum protection.
And we saw the O-line at work there. Naz Johnson taking it in on the extra point attempt. Atlanta up 7-0 with just over 9 minutes remaining.
Naz Johnson, I think she was checking if there was enough air in the football. Was that a New England Patriot situation?
The deflate gate working its way to the LFL. And now we'll get our first look at that Omaha offense. As we talked about in the pregame show, their starting quarterback, Ashley Amick, is out in this one. And their backup, Jessica Ripp, the converted running back, also out. So it'll come down to their third-string quarterback, Jenna Holt, who's yet another converted player, this time from the wide receiver position. Jenna Holt wearing number 1.
A really tough situation for Coach Dante Allen. You have Jenna Holt, great athlete, but she can't throw very well. It's a wildcat situation, and she's mainly going to be a runner tonight.
And Holt early on, and that ball is loose. No, that was a forward pass. Holt coming up, holding that hamstring that she had problems with.
Bad snap again, not right to Holt. Right now, she yanks it, pulled, it's gone right there. That's just from pain. She drops the football. She will not be coming back. That looks like it's ripped.
And Holt was their third-string quarterback coming into tonight, so who's going to line up for him now?
I think Dante Allen might come in at quarterback. He's got to be frustrated right now, losing another quarterback. He might not even have one in his practice at the position.
I guarantee you Jenna Holt didn't get a lot of reps as it stood. As the third-string quarterback in the LFL, you have your strong starter. Very few teams have a solid backup, and I don't know any that have a third-string quarterback, much less a fourth-string quarterback now.
Really a desperate situation for Coach Dante Allen. Looking at the quarterback depth chart, they're down to number 4, Ashley Dickinson. Wow.
And now, while we have a second here, we're going to go down to the field with Audra Marie for an injury report on Jenna Holt.
Hi guys, I just spoke to the LFL's medical staff and Jenna Holt just pulled her hamstring. Her coming back into the game is very unlikely. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Audra Marie. That's a big blow because that is the individual that got all the reps during the week. And now we're going to see, actually that's Jessica Ripp under center, the running back. So this is interesting. We had Ashley Dickinson listed. Ripp now under center. Ball at the 19. Fumbles the snap. Handoff. Marissa Riley. Riley, a new addition in the offseason, loses the ball, but they're saying she was down. And that was a gain of 2 yards by Riley.
As an ex-coach from Miami, it's really tough when you get down to your third and fourth quarterback. It's more of a gut reaction, who's playing better in warm-ups or whatever. Obviously, Coach Allen thought Jessica Ripp is the one to go to right now, but she had trouble with the snap also.
It's going to be the same narrative we've seen through the first 2 games for Omaha. They are having continued difficulty with that center to quarterback exchange. And certainly bringing in your third-string quarterback is not going to help that. Ball at the 21, now a 3rd and 4. That's another handoff with a penalty. That to Shaylin Durham. The big fullback gains 4 yards on that carry.
You mentioned the snap. The very first snap of the game was a bad shotgun snap to Jenna Holt, and it really cost her. She lost her momentum and ripped her hamstring.
And now we're going to get our first call for Larry Hopgood, our head referee, and it looks to be on Atlanta.
Approachment on Atlanta. That'll be 5 yards from the previous spot, and that will carry a first down.
Not a popular call by Larry Hopgood. Encroachment on Alfie Gore. That will give the Omaha offense a first down. Ball at almost the midfield mark.
Really tough call right there. Alfie Gore, she was shocked that that was called on her. She thought she lined up in the right zone. Obviously, the referees thought differently.
A 1st and 10 play. Jessica Ripp actually moving this offense a bit. Another handoff to Amanda Hogan on the right side. Hogan, one of the very few veterans that have come back for their 3rd season of football. That was one of the things lacking with this team, was any veteran leadership.
She is a veteran. I like the way she runs. Even though this team has not scored a point all year, her athleticism and the way she runs is really strong. She runs towards people, not away like some of her teammates do. And a lot of times to get better, you have to endanger yourself, and she does it.
Amanda Hogan and Jessica Ripp have absolutely been targets all year, as they haven't had much of a passing game. Good news for Omaha, they're moving the sticks, the clock is rolling, and they're staying in the ball game thus far.
Jessica Ripp looking really solid.
A 2nd and 9 play. Ripp opening up the wrong way. Still managed to get in some yards. Ball's loose, but I believe that was whistled down. Yes, sir, that was whistled down. Ripp went for 6 yards on that carry.
A broken play. Looks like she just went the wrong way, but she's such a great athlete. That's why Coach Dante Allen has her playing quarterback. But on broken plays like that, she gained 6 yards.
That 6-yard gain now sets up a very manageable 3rd and 3 from an offense that's seen 3rd and 20, 3rd and 30, 4th and 20, 4th and 18. Yes, those are actual downs that this Hart offense has had to endure this season. Adrian Purnell and crew having a solid year on the defensive side of the ball. Under 5 minutes remaining. Ripp from the shotgun. That is a designed wildcat option to the right side. And she gained 5 yards, lost the ball again. That is 3 consecutive plays. In the third one, they turn it over. That is Adrian Purnell forcing the fumble. Alfie Gore recovering. That Atlanta defense coming up big.
The veteran, Adrian Purnell, stripped the ball, then Gore comes up with it.
Dakota Hughes and company taking to the field as we head to a timeout. Atlanta coming up big early. We are back to the factory. The Gwinnett Center here outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Ball at the 12-yard line. And we expect to start seeing some reserve players. And there's our first one. That looked like Jane Caldwell, who came over from LFL Australia, and now they tailback for Atlanta. And there's the handoff to Caldwell, finding a seam, battering her way all the way down to the Omaha 23-yard line. The Aussie coming up big.
Jane Caldwell, she was a good quarterback in LFL Australia. Here she's in the wishbone situation playing fullback. Reminds me of LeGarrette Blunt with that run right there.
Now Hughes under center, handoff this time to the rookie, Jesse Locklear. Locklear gains 4 yards on the carry.
You really have to hand it to offensive coordinator Mark White. This is a passing offense, a drop back, go in the pocket, throw it downfield offense. He comes in with Caldwell and the wishbone.
And that's one of the things we talked about, that this team lacked a power run game. They have Nas Johnson, they have Jesse Locklear, and now they could have their power back in Jane Caldwell. Dakota Hughes finding Adrian Purnell in the flat, and Purnell goes in for 6. That was a 19-yard pass. Purnell, who's had problems all season dropping the ball, held on to that one.
Atlanta showed that wishbone set. Here they come, I formation, play action. Nobody in the flat on Purnell. What a block downfield by Lauren Ziegler to help her get in the end zone. Great call again by offensive coordinator Mark White.
This offense is absolutely cranking on all cylinders. We talked about them being the #1 ranked offense coming into tonight. The #1 passing game and their rushing game only behind Chicago. Now the extra point attempt from the 1-yard line. Wojciechowski under center, handoff, Nas Johnson, quick cut to the right side. And you could see the arm tackle attempts by Omaha having no success.
Horrible defense, but again, a different set shown there by Atlanta, a pistol set, and they walk in for the extra point.
Nas Johnson having a great 2015 season, averaging a very respectable 5.2 yards a carry. Bobby, a very dependable back.
She's having a solid season. Now with Jane Caldwell in the mix, also Locklear's having a great season. They have a 3-headed monster at running back.
And then you couple that with the passing of Dakota Hughes, the receiving talent of Lauren Ziegler and Jody Nettles. This is a formidable offense.
They play Chicago next week, the defending champs. When Coach Hack watches this film, sees all these sets, he's going to lose a lot of sleep, Mitch.
It is a very complex offense, various formations, various sets. It's definitely one to prepare for. And now we're going to see their defense go to work. That's Adrian Purnell. Jessica Ripp remains under center at the 15. Handoff inside, Shaylin Durham. That's the heavy bowling ball fullback. Durham goes for 8 yards on that carry.
Just a basic handoff right up the middle. They're going right at middle linebacker Leanne Hart, one of the best in the league, but they're blowing her away right now.
Obviously, the passing game not part of the repertoire here in Omaha. So they're going to work on the run game to try to keep the clock moving, keep the game respectable, and have a shot to win it in the fourth quarter. Right now, down 14-0. At least it's within range. 2nd and 2, ball at the Omaha 23. That's Vanessa Regis in motion, and will get the handoff. And Leanne Harden, the middle linebacker, there to meet her. Harden and Alfie Gore on the tackle.
Vanessa Regis really running the ball with an upright style that's not conducive to getting yards. Hey, Dante Allen might have something to say about that.
Hey, if you run that again, try to get outside. Okay, don't cut it up right away. Try to get outside and follow your blockers, all right?
The coaching never ends with this team. Obviously struggling in all facets of the game. Head coach Dante Allen trying to instill something to this base of rookies. Now a 3rd and 2, ball at the Omaha 23. Jessica Ripp trying to hand it off, and that's Amanda Hogan impressively bursting through the line. And Hogan gains 4 yards on the carry.
The heavy personnel up front for Omaha getting it done against this strong Atlanta team. I have to hand it to Dante Allen. He toned it down, brought Ripp in the game, and they're just plowing away at the front line.
Adrian Purnell just got blown up on that play, completely whiffed on Amanda Hogan. This should bring us to the end of first quarter play. We'll see if Omaha gets another playoff. That was one of the challenges they've had the first 2 weeks of the season, getting the play called in and getting it to the point of the snap. That's Hogan in motion. Fake handoff. Nope, Jessica Ripp gonna keep it herself. Gained about a yard on the carry. That will bring us to the end of the first quarter. In a quarter that Atlanta dominated on both sides of the ball. Dina Wojcicki and team having their way. That will officially bring us to the end of first quarter play. It's the Atlanta Steam up 14-0. Back to LFL football night. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Huco, Audra Marie. Now we listen into both huddles.
Like I told our secondary here, too many yardage, too much yardage. All right, I understand they're playing slow or whatever. They play that. There's no reason when we're blitzing A-gap that 3 people miss 1 ball carrier. That's bullshit. Bullshit. You got to pay better attention than that. All right?
We're going to go the other way. We're going to try it again, and this time, after you fake it, go all the way around.
All right, 1 quarter's done. We got all the bullshit out of the way. We understand our opposition. Turn up the heat now. Cool? Yeah.
Coach Dane Robinson told me he's treating this game like a scrimmage, trying to get his Atlanta team ready for Chicago next week. You can tell he's intense, Mitch.
And that's the key word, intensity. When we talked to analysts earlier in the week and we had the production meeting, that is the difference between Omaha and Atlanta, the coaching style. Omaha, very laid back, very encouraging, and sometimes that just does not work with the mentality of these women. They need to be jarred into reality and get them to get a sense of urgency about the season, and that's what's lacking in Omaha, is that intensity from head coach Dante Allen. Ball at the 22 now, 2nd and 9. High motion, Jessica Ripp, left side, finds a crease, and absolutely blown up by Lauren Ziegler. We do have a penalty on the play.
This is how you play safety. Watch her come up and attack. Bam! Holy cow, that's football.
She lowered that shoulder into the rookie. And as we said, Jessica Ripp, Amanda Hogan have been targets all season. There's a close look at Ripp talking to Dante Allen.
Defense on Atlanta. That will be 5 yards, and we will replay 2nd down.
Illegal defense on Atlanta. And that means 4 people in the tackle box. For the fans that don't follow LFL very closely, defensively you can have 2 DNs and a middle linebacker in the tackle box. You can see Atlanta's defense is creeping in that 4th defender.
Well, they're not throwing the ball at all. Omaha has not attempted 1 pass all night, so they're bringing the safeties up and just challenging Omaha to throw the ball.
A 2nd and 4 now after that 5-yard penalty on Atlanta. Ripp under center. Trying to send someone in motion. That's a handoff. Amanda Hogan. Hogan just bulldozing her way for 2 yards. And yet, like you said, Bobby, they are not fearing the pass. This is almost like attacking Chicago. They're bringing out that 6th and 7th defender.
Again, it's great coaching by Dane Robinson. I mean, why have your safeties back if they're not even trying to throw the ball? And they have not shown they can throw the ball, so bring them all out.
Adrian Purnell coming off another all-fantasy season at that strong safety position.
Purnell, you know, she talks a lot, but Mitch, it's not bragging if you back it up, and she comes to play every week.
It's Purnell, Wojcicki there, Lauren Ziegler. They brought an attitude and a swagger to Atlanta that was sorely needed. Now a 3rd and 2 play. Again, the inside handoff, this time to the real rookie, Marissa Riley, who gets absolutely clotheslined by Alfie Gore. Welcome to the LFL, Marissa.
This defense came to play tonight. Watch this, it almost takes her head off. Alfie Gore, clothesline, wow!
Nonetheless, they did gain a yard on the play, setting up a very convertible 4th and 1. Again, they're not in 4th and 10, they're not in 4th and 15. 4th and 1 is very manageable for this offense.
I was just gonna say, Jessica Ripp is doing an outstanding job keeping this team calm and composed. They're getting their butt kicked, I mean, with some of these hits, but they're getting into positions where they can make first downs.
And unfortunately, that's how low the bar is set for Omaha. If you can get a snap and hand it off, you're doing well. Now from the shotgun, which is a bit baffling, 4th and 1. Poorly handled snap, but we've got a flag.
All right, we're on the field.
We're going to hear from head referee Larry Hobgood again. He's been busy tonight.
Delay on Atlanta. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Larry Hobgood mentioning Atlanta obviously meant Omaha. That'll back him up to 4th and 6. We might have jinxed him there, Bobby.
I hate to come down on Jessica Ripp because she's a 3rd or 4th team quarterback, but she's got to keep her eyes on the game clock.
Again from the shotgun. Ripp about 5 yards deep. A 4th and 6, high snap over Ripp's head. That ball is loose. Something we've seen all season with Omaha. And Atlanta will recover. Did not matter much as it was 4th down. Dina Wojciechowski coming up with the fumble.
Here we go again. Sarah DiGregorio snaps it right over Ripp's head, and it's Atlanta's ball. How many times have we seen that happen this year?
That has been a challenge no matter who's been at center or who's been at quarterback. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in the LFL or anywhere else where that simple academic play in football has become so tough to manage.
Well, you know, we blame the coaches. We blame Dante Allen a lot this year, but you have to have players. I wouldn't be surprised. They don't play their next game for 6 weeks if he starts looking out for some free agents to bring in here.
Absolutely. Look for them to be working that free agency wire in this 6-week downtime. Now Dakota Hughes going back to work. That's a handoff again. Caldwell. They are convinced that that will be their horse. And what better game to get a close look at Jane Caldwell at the running back position, although she's coming up limping here.
Looks like she got a Charlie horse, got hit right in the thigh, but you're absolutely correct. You got Jane Caldwell looking great at fullback. And looking down the line, if Dakota ever got nicked up or injured, you have a proven quarterback that can come right in.
That's an excellent, excellent point, Bobby. I didn't even think about that. She was a very capable quarterback in Australia, and they really don't have a backup here in Atlanta. Great pickup. That's a right side pitch out. Lauren Ziegler making it look easy. Ziegler just on fire offensively this year.
Amanda Hogan getting into Wojciechowski's face. Wow.
And there is Wojciechowski. She was cool with it until the swipe came. That is one player you do not want to mess with.
Basic power sweep into wishbone formation. Lauren Ziegler, she is absolutely having an OMG kind of year. I know it's early in the season, but she's playing like an MVP.
That is one time I'll agree with you. Wojciechowski's still on fire. Not happy with Amanda Hogan at the end of that play. Nonetheless, Atlanta up 20-0, now going for the extra point. Ball at the 1 left side sweep play. That's Naz Johnson walking into the end zone. And now talking to the Omaha players a little bit.
Naz Johnson actually was trying to look for somebody to make a move on, but there was nobody out there, so she walked in. More trash talk by Atlanta right now.
Hogan now talking to Adrian Furnell.
So I had to have 3 players on the line of scrimmage. No. The line of scrimmage is the 3-yard line.
Head coach Dane Robinson, also the defensive coordinator for Atlanta, still upset about that 4th person in the tackle box call against them earlier.
I don't blame them for being upset because they're not passing the ball, so obviously he's going to bring his safeties up, but the referees think they're too far up in that tackle box.
Omaha back on offense. Ball at the 15-yard line. This offense has had its opportunities and actually moved the ball a bit. Rip now going to hand it inside again. Shaylin Durham, who's had a solid first half of football. One of the very few bright spots this season for this offense.
Center Sarah DiGregorio surprisingly mauling linebacker Leanne Harden. I've never seen anybody do that to her.
Yeah, that front line is definitely playing a little more physical for Omaha. And that's what we talked about. You know, they're not going to be as bad as game 1 and game 2. They're going to see development over time. This is a complete rookie team with the exception of Amanda Hogan and Jenna Holt. So some of the first 2 games was to be expected. I think the big challenge with them was where was the heart, where was the passion? There's the handoff again to Shaylin Durham. And Durham using all of her frame, 5'7", 150 pounds from Council Bluffs, Iowa. Now, I got to ask you, Bobby, have you ever been to Council Bluffs, Iowa?
Actually, I have been through that town on a modeling gig.
Many years ago, Bobby Hugo.
Not that many, Mitch, but it's a beautiful town.
While we were talking about your previous modeling assignments, there's yet another penalty here.
Legal defense on Atlanta. That penalty is declined. The run resulting in a first down.
And that is another illegal defense on Atlanta. We saw head coach Dane Robinson talking to Larry Hopgood and challenging that call.
Then you got to call every outside on them. Every time they move.
Coach Robinson totally upset at the referees right now for continuing to call illegal defense.
Vanessa Regas now on another carry. That'll go for about a yard. Again, the good news is they're holding on to the ball. I realize they're down 21-0. At least they're within striking distance, or at least trying to keep this game respectable.
You have to hand it to Jessica Rip. She's got this team under control. They're moving the football. Unfortunately, they're still not getting any points.
Yeah, I'm really impressed not only by Rip, but I like how Amanda Hogan is stepping up. As you said, she was beaten on a couple plays there against Lauren Ziegler, but she stepped up. When the time has come, that is what this team is going to need eventually. Somebody to step up and be upset, genuinely upset about what's going on this season. A 2nd and 11 play now. A reverse goes to Amanda Hogan. And Hogan nearly decapitated by Leanne Harden.
Great play by Harden coming up, but Jessica Rip getting back to that quarterback situation. She didn't take hardly any snaps in practice. She came in here, now she's checking off, taking control of this offense. It wouldn't shock me if they score some points today.
That run now sets up a 3rd and 14. The more Omaha holds on and moves the sticks, this has got to be alarming for the Atlanta defense to allow this to happen.
When they know they can't pass the football, they know they're going to run, and they're moving the sticks.
Rip back in the shotgun. High snap, towering over her head, trying to retain the ball. And Rip finally gets a hold of it. But they'll lose 13 yards on another high snap.
How many times are we going to see this? Center Sarah DiGregorio with a high snap. She obviously hasn't worked on that at all. It's going right over Rip's head. She's having a great night blocking, but it's ridiculous. They lose the ball and turn it over and fumble so many times because of a bad snap.
That should take us to the 2-minute warning here in the 2nd quarter. Third string quarterback Jessica Rip trying to command this offense. And we are officially at the 2-minute mark here in a game that Atlanta has dominated throughout. They are up 21-0. Back to 2nd quarter action. LFL football night here in Atlanta, Georgia, where the home team leads 21-0. And the Omaha Heart once again are backed up 4th and 27. This will be a punt from Shaylin Durham. Nice high, deep punt. That is one thing Omaha has managed to do well this year. Lauren Ziegler on the return, cutting to the right side, getting a couple blocks, and all the way out to midfield. And I think just about every referee threw their laundry on that play.
I saw 2 flags fly out right there. Great return by Ziegler. She almost breaks this, being the great athlete she is, but I think there was a clip. I think that's going to be called back, and then another face mask right there.
We're going to hear again from Larry Hopgood. Hope he's not getting paid by the call tonight. He's had a busy, busy night with these two teams.
The referees look confused. I don't know why. It was obvious clip, and then there was a hit to the head, so it's probably offsetting. Just make the call, Larry.
I think the worst call in all of football that every fan dreads is the offsetting call.
Which I'm pretty sure this is.
Long walk by Larry.
We got a block in the back on Atlanta. We got unnecessary roughing on Omaha. Those penalties will offset and we will replay.
And you called it, Bobby, offsetting. So we're probably going to get another punt from Omaha.
A lot of wasted time right there. That should have been an easy call for the refs. Not to get on the refs, Mitch, but a lot of time was taken.
Why not? You've been targeting Dante Allen. You've been targeting all of Omaha. Let's get after the Zebras a little bit here.
Got to call it the way it is.
Again, a 4th and 27. Atlanta looking to hold here and give that offense another shot. Atlanta does have 2 remaining timeouts. Obviously, a lot of time on the clock. Bad snap. Shaylin Durham trying to get it off and barely holds on to the ball. That'll give Atlanta the ball at the 1-yard line.
Dante Allen has to make a change at the center position. These snaps are costing him ball games. You just can't have this happen over and over and over again, week after week. He's got to be really disappointed right now.
No, we're doing something different. Hey, huddle.
Coach Dante Allen talking about the short fields that offenses have had going up against this defense all season.
Dakota Hughes, we love watching her play as a pure passer, but tonight all she's doing, it seems, is handing the ball off.
If it ain't broke or they can't stop it, why fix it? Now a 1st and goal from the 2. You talked about the ground game. Dakota Hughes just tiptoeing into the end zone. And now it's just a fun ball game. They're up 27-0.
Atlanta taking pictures of themselves, having some fun out here and throwing it right in Omaha's face. That was just a basic quarterback sneak. I think they stole that from Chicago's coach, Keith Hack. Heather Furr does that every week. Now we have Dakota Hughes doing it.
Yeah, there's just absolutely no tackling up front for Omaha. That's why they're confident running their 110-pound soaking wet quarterback. That's a bad snap. She's going to take off with it, as I said. Just outruns the defense. And that'll extend Atlanta's lead to 28-0.
That just shows you right there what good players do in a bad situation. I mean, contagious confidence goes all around this team. On the other side, there's a lot of contagious lack of confidence. What a play. Dakota picks it up, simply outruns the defense around the corner and gets in for points.
And that's something we're seeing more and more of this season that we didn't see last year from Dakota Hughes, our Rookie of the Year, is confidence, a sense of cockiness.
It is, and it's working. I mean, that play, if that was Omaha, it'd be a loss of 20. For Atlanta, it's points.
You saw her go over to the Omaha bench and gesture to all of them. We didn't think we'd see that from the 20-year-old quarterback. A 1st and 10 now from the Omaha 15. Rip still under center. Looking over that defense. Shaylin Durham in the backfield. Inside handoff to Durham. That has been the only source of offense tonight. Durham carries for 4 yards.
Dante Allen has to make moves, Mitch. I mean, look, 28-0. The offense is moving, but they haven't scored a point all year. The fans are getting restless. Everybody has followed the heart. Last year they had a solid team. They have to make some moves.
And now Shaylin Durham a little beat up. You can see her limping off the field. And it's tough when you don't have a passing game. That defense just ISOs on the runners, and they absolutely have been beating up Amanda Hogan and Shaylin Durham.
Adrian Purnell, she doesn't even look like she worked a sweat tonight. This is just a workout for her.
2nd and 6 now, but we do have a timeout. Coach Dante Allen and company want to talk this over. And on the other side, Dane Robinson, the fiery head coach for Atlanta. We've got him mic'd up.
But they don't got their shit together. We have our shit together. As soon as they snap that ball, let out all hell. Make sense? Make sense?
You can have 3 players 3 yards from the line.
Okay, but it's okay if you guys don't understand. You guys don't know. Because we've been running this for 2 seasons now. What's the box? The hashes?
No.
That what do we got? We got called in Omaha like that.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Hey.
Wow, you can see that Coach Dane Robinson had his favorite drink before this game, double espresso and Red Bull.
He is fiery, I'll give him that. And he's been debating that tackle box all of the first half. He's claiming he doesn't have 4 people in it. Again, the tackle box is a DN, and a middle linebacker.
I think he's upset because he's not raking up the points like he did last time they played Omaha. They scored almost 80.
Now a 2nd and 6 play after the Omaha timeout. Jessica Ripp under center, handoff, misdirection. And the other rookie, Marissa Riley, the running back, was not expecting it. That's Keon Harrison on the recovery.
There was miscommunication on the handoff. You're right, it was a misdirection. The running back wasn't there. Jessica should have just taken the ball and gotten what she can, but now they turn the ball over back to Atlanta.
And there's 36 seconds remaining. Atlanta has 2 timeouts, plenty of time for this offense. And now look for those outside targets, Jody Nettles and Lauren Ziegler. They also love the release play with Coco Montgomery, the tight end.
Mark White right now likes to throw the ball deep. We'll see what he does.
From the shotgun, Dakota Hughes, right side, pitch and catch. That's intercepted. Lindsey Howell, the free safety coming over. And that's a monumental stop for this defense.
Great play by Vanessa Reed, just dropping back into coverage, tipping the ball up in the air, which created the interception. Jody Nettles was open, but Dakota Hughes could not get her the ball.
A little late on the delivery was Dakota Hughes. You don't normally see that from the outstanding second-year quarterback.
Omaha. That's 5 yards penalty for Atlanta. 5 yards, still repeat first down.
Oh, wow. We didn't see a penalty flag, but apparently that's a flag on Omaha. So they'll wipe out the interception. And that'll create a 1st and 10 for Atlanta. And if you're counting, Dakota Hughes has yet to throw an interception this season. The clock continues to run. We're under 20 seconds. Quick slant in the flat to Lauren Ziegler. Atlanta would be wise to call a timeout here. And Dane Robinson does just that. And it's been a hard-hitting game. Watch this. They are sheeps being led to slaughter tonight.
Atlanta's defense comes to play every week. You gotta love them.
2nd and 4 now. You gotta think you've got time for about 2 plays. Atlanta does have a timeout. Dakota Hughes flanked by Johnson and Ziegler from the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Johnson. That ball is loose. Ziegler picking it up. Cutting back to the left side. Finding an opening. Walks into the end zone. And disaster averted by Atlanta.
Ziegler made an outstanding run out of nothing. The ball was on the ground. It was a fumble, but then trying to help out, Dakota Hughes blocked the girl in the back. It's going to come back on a clip. But what an athlete Lauren Ziegler is.
Penalty was on the offense. The half can end with a penalty on the offense, so that is halftime.
And that'll bring us to the end of the half. The penalty being on Atlanta meant that they just ran off the clock. A missed opportunity for sure.
Option play down the right. Pitch was not good. Ziegler picks the ball, but there's the clip right there. That's what's going to bring it back. But it's really bad for Atlanta. They think they might get another shot at it, but because the clock ran out, offensive penalty, that's the end of the half.
And Adrian Purnell, like a good lobbyist, still talking to Larry Hopgood. That will bring us to the end of the first half. A physical game, and one that Atlanta has dominated throughout.
I am pissed off Because why? That's not how the fuck we play this game. We play this game as a fucking unit. You don't play this game to make nobody fucking happy. You don't throw touchdowns at nobody to make nobody happy. You play to fucking win. Cause I'm not playing to be coach of the year. I'm not playing to fucking win, to go 4-0. I'm playing for a fucking Legends Cup. And y'all playing for fucking stats. That's fucking pathetic, man.
Interestingly enough, inside the Atlanta Steam locker room, they are not happy. That was Coach Mark White. Despite being up 28-0, he's not happy with the execution of his team. If that's the case with Atlanta, what about Omaha?
Omaha, surprisingly, and I know this is going to be crazy, but they've played their best half of football this season. They haven't set the bar high because they let up 128 points in their first 2 games. They're only down 28-0, but somehow they've controlled the ball almost 15 minutes on that offense. A lot of problems with the offense, but still 15 minutes. They have to come back 28 points. The problem is the quarterback position. They're down to their 4th quarterback. Ashley Amick out with a shoulder. Rip wasn't cleared to play at quarterback. Then Jenna Holt, the wide receiver, converted to quarterback. She blows her hamstring on the first play of the game. Unbelievable. Down to their 4th quarterback. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that 4th quarterback has to overcome a 28-point deficit. I know you're laughing. We're going to see if it's going to happen.
That's a tall task. Now, on the Atlanta side of the ball, the #1 rated offense in the league definitely did not disappoint in the first half, posting 28 points. Let's go to some of that scoring. In the first quarter, it was the league's #1 passer, Dakota Hughes, finding Lauren Ziegler her favorite target on this 29-yard touchdown pass. She followed that up with a streaking Adrian Purnell on this 19-yard touchdown pass. That increased Atlanta's lead to 14-0. Then in the second quarter, it was on the ground. Lauren Ziegler on this 11-yard touchdown run, followed by Dakota Hughes, or the Dakota herself, taking it in on this 2-yard touchdown. That's where we are at halftime, 28-0. Bobby, let's take a look at those stats.
As we talked about, time of possession, unbelievably almost 15 minutes for Omaha, but I'm really happy, and it's fun to watch that Atlanta offense. Passing-wise, 54 yards, solid game by Dakota. Running the ball, 34 yards. I'm telling you what, they look solid. All they have to do is stay healthy because they have that big game next week against Chicago.
Big matchup Mother's Day, May 10th against the Chicago Bliss. Now as the teams return to the field, we'll get ready for the second half kickoff. Let's say it together, Bobby. Kickoff is next. Back to LFL football night here from Atlanta, Georgia. And Lauren Ziegler and company will get it underway. Marissa Riley deep. And Omaha's got to show some life here in the second half.
They have a long hill to climb up tonight, 28-0. Here we go again. They haven't scored any points. Hopefully they can make some kind of showing in the second half, but there's our girl, Lauren Ziegler. What doesn't she do?
Now she's going to kick off. That's an onside kick. Ball is still loose. Atlanta will recover. We haven't seen that all season.
She's like Bo Jackson. Now she kicks off. It's a perfect onside kick. It bounced off the Omaha player. Atlanta had a shot at it. They didn't get it, but great kick by Ziegler.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. That is illegal in the LFL. You're not allowed an onside kick unless you are down by a point or more and 4 minutes or less remaining in the fourth quarter. That is why Omaha takes over here. And we're going to take a look at our 4th quarterback for Omaha this season, Ashley Dickinson, in the game now.
Ashley Dickinson, I'm not sure why they're switching up unless Jessica Rip is hurt, but no, there she is. They're just going to put her back at running back. But getting back to that kick, I'm not really sure why Dane Robinson would try that 28-0. The only chance Omaha has getting back in the game is plays like this. Now they have the ball deep in Atlanta territory.
And it looked like Omaha's left side of the line jumped, no penalty. And Jessica Rip, not only is she getting killed, but they're telling her about it after they tackle her.
Dante Allen making a move at quarterback, putting Rip back at the running back position. I thought she did an okay job at quarterback, but now they switched it up again.
I'd liked Shaylin Durham in the backfield, but I believe she went down with an injury. That is probably why you're seeing Ashley Dickinson under center. And Rip lost about a yard on that last carry.
I guess Coach Allen probably thinks, what doesn't matter, don't have any points on the board, why not change?
And Dickinson looking like she is completely lost, a la Ashley Amick. And she is. That was a very unnatural looking handoff to Rip.
The only time I've ever seen a quarterback hand off like that is if they have a broken left wrist.
And honestly, all you can do is laugh at this point. I know Omaha fans are not laughing. Certainly Coach Dante Allen's not laughing. But it is becoming comedic how poor and inept this offense is.
Well, Dante Allen, during the next 6 weeks, has to make some changes, right? I hate to say it, he might be out. This team has been absolutely horrible. This is the third game in a row they're playing like this.
Absolutely, no real steam. But you also have to wonder, if you don't have the horses to line up against the elite teams, then you're out of luck as a head coach.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You need to make some changes, get some stud players in here. He's got the time to do it. He's just got to go out and recruit.
Now it looks like we've got a timeout here.
Timeout, Omaha.
It's been a long night for these Omaha coaches. Dante Allen, I think he's had enough, Mitch.
And it appears Adrian Purnell more than willing to throw some salt on the wound.
Oh my God! Who the fuck are we playing? They're fucking terrible. Okay, let's get these bitches off the field. Let's get these hoes off the field. Can I get a hole? Can I get a hole? Can I get a fucking hole? Who the fuck are we playing?
She is absolutely 100% right. Who are they playing? This is not a football team.
Another awkward handoff right side. That to Jessica Ripp. Ripp managing only a yard.
Jessica Ripp stood upright on this, and our favorite player, Adrian Purnell, throws her into the boards. That's just not running a football with any kind of technique, and you're going to get hurt that way.
And I think to the package we ran earlier, it looked like Adrian Purnell was just kind of frustrated at having to play a team of Omaha's caliber.
It really shows what type of competitor Adrian Purnell is. She's used to playing the big teams, LA, Chicago, Seattle. It makes her a better player. She does not playing teams that don't have any talent.
4th and 11 now. Handoff. Amanda Hogan finding a little room to the outside, but not enough. Leanne Harden, Alfie Gore on the stop, and the ball will go back over to Atlanta.
It's just the little things like the quarterback play. The quarterback right there, I know she's the fourth stringer, but she's handing it off with the wrong hand. I've never seen a quarterback do that, and I was dead serious, unless they had an injured left hand.
Yeah, I don't think she's gotten any work at the quarterback position. At this point, I think you're just filling in holes if you're Dante Allen. You know, you've got no line, you've got no quarterback, you have no receivers, you have no defense. So it's a massive juggling act. Handoff left side, Naz Johnson finding an opening, cutting back to the inside. Nothing but green grass. Monster crackback block by Adrian Purnell.
Wow. Watch how quick Naz Johnson gets it into 5th gear, and then she hits the launch button. Adrian Purnell, watch this crackback block. Unbelievable. Here's Johnson outside, great jump cut, boom, gets out there, Purnell comes back and absolutely destroys Amanda Hogan. Wow, what a run though by Naz Johnson.
And that puts Atlanta up 34-0.
That's it, that's all we needed.
Amanda Hogan still catching her breath after that crackback block.
Amanda Hogan right now doesn't know if she's in Atlanta or Omaha. What a hit by Adrian Purnell.
Atlanta going for the 1-point conversion. Dakota Hughes just sweeping left. And that'll put him up 35-0 on a night when most of the sports world is focused on Mayweather-Pacquiao. Thousands of fans have flocked to watch the Atlanta Steam here in Atlanta, Georgia.
The Steam is packing the power of a Manny Pacquiao punch right now. They're looking good, 35-0. I don't know if they're going to get any points like they did a couple weeks ago, but really solid football. Dakota Hughes still can't get over that block that Adrian Purnell put on Amanda Hogan, telling her night-night. She was out, but somehow Amanda Hogan got up.
And we're starting to see that bond between Dakota Hughes and Adrian Purnell, arguably the two captains offensively and defensively, respectively. That should bode well for them as they get into the playoffs. Another handoff, this time to Amanda Hogan again, and a dangerous late hit. That was Coco Montgomery on the stop.
They're to the point where they're not even trying or thinking about throwing a forward pass. So the entire defense is coming up on them.
And Amanda Hogan having a decent night tonight. As you can see, she's been the only source of a running game.
I don't think they're that far away. There is some talent like Amanda Hogan, Jessica Ripp. A couple free agents could completely change this team around.
Absolutely, and you got to figure that's going to be at the top of the list during this 6-week break for Omaha. Dickinson under center, misdirection, handoff, this time to Jessica Ripp. And Ripp manages a very respectable 5-yard gain. That's got to be one of the concerns if you're an Atlanta fan, is this team is getting some good yardage on the ground.
There is holes being opened up front, and just that little bit of misdirection is working for Omaha. Just think if they have a real offense in here, what they can do.
And that's got to be at the top of the list during this 6-week break for Omaha. Trying to get out there, bring in some free agents. I can think of at least 1 or 2 great quarterbacks that are sitting at home currently
that want to play.
It'll be an interesting 6 weeks, to say the least. Dickinson again under center. That's an inside handoff, Amanda Hogan. No gain for Hogan. Leanne Harden and Coco Montgomery on the stop.
Right now, this offense is very offensive. It's hard to watch. They have no schemes, no concept, and they're running the ball right up the middle.
That Hogan run now sets up a 4th and 3. And now if they don't score in the 3rd quarter, that'll be 11 quarters of football without a single point on the board for this offense.
How do you think the fans feel watching it 3 weeks in a row?
I got to tell you, when we get back June 13th to Omaha, paper bags might be at a premium.
Like in New Orleans, they had the Aints down here. This might be the hard aches.
Absolutely, especially if this keeps the form for the first 2 games and they're run out of this building. It's going to be tough going back home. 4th and 3 now, high motion. That's Vanessa Regas, bad snap. What else? And a poor handoff to Marissa Riley, who gets absolutely killed. And this is almost dangerous now. When you're not going at 100%, they say that's when you're susceptible to injury most.
Oh, totally. Look at the quarterback, Ashley Dickinson, right now. She's limping around. The snap wasn't there. She should have just fallen on the ball. She tried to give it to another player who got destroyed. You're right. Players can get hurt in situations like this.
I think Ashley Dickinson is a mess. She has no concept of the position, but what's worse, it doesn't look like she's playing with any sense of urgency or passion, or
I agree,
frustration even, because if things aren't going your way, you don't just line up and play another play. You got to show some form of reaction.
No, absolutely. I
it's
think
almost
she's hurt.
Like they're zombies.
I think she's hurt. She's limping around, but the way she's playing, I mean, if she was a horse, I'd shoot her.
Now is 2nd and 5 after that Jade Caldwell run. And Caldwell becoming a featured back tonight. We didn't expect to see her play such a dominant role.
So quick, you're right. I mean, she's from Australia. She's a small-town girl. Now she's living in an uptown world here in Atlanta.
2nd and 5. Oh! Jade Caldwell, the aforementioned Aussie, exploding on Marissa Riley.
I don't think I've ever seen a free agent, especially coming all the way from Australia, step in her first game and just destroy people. Bam! Whammo! Unbelievable. Just stepping right in like she's been here for years.
An impressive debut for number 12. About a world away in Queensland, Australia. And we're going to see several Aussies across the league this season. From the wishbone, Lauren Ziegler exploding into the end zone and having a little fun with the referee. That'll put him up 41-0.
No pursuit at all from the Omaha defense. One little good issue, they forced her back inside, but when she came back inside, she got no inside help and walked right into the end zone.
Now, Jane Caldwell should be a little upset there. She did all the heavy lifting that series, and then Lauren Ziegler picks it up.
Well, she's a rookie. That's what the veterans do. I look for Jane Caldwell to be a stud with this team as it goes on in the season.
And that could be the key development from this game. Going up against the Chicago team, they lack the power game. They might have it now. That's Caldwell. Talk about power. That looked like a rugby scrum. Caldwell into the end zone. That'll extend Atlanta's lead to 42-0.
I said they might not get 80 this week, but maybe they will. There's still a lot of time left here, over a minute in the third quarter, the entire fourth quarter, and they already got 42.
And it'll be interesting to see how many reserves we see the rest of the way for Atlanta, keeping in mind next week, literally 7 days from now, they'll be playing in Chicago.
That's a great point, because how long do you want to risk some of these star players? Dakota Hughes, yeah, she plays hurt. She played with a broken wrist last year, but you want to take a chance when you have such a big lead.
You see Lauren Ziegler still in the game, Keon Harrison, Coco Montgomery, Leanne Harden. They are not taking their foot off the throttle here as they're up 42-0. Ashley Dickinson again under center. A little misdirection handoff. This is the Bad News Bears. They can't even manage a handoff.
Three Stooges, Bad News Bears. Any more, Mitch?
You look for your own reference, man. I have Bad News Bears. I've got that coin for any Omaha game.
I just can't believe it. I mean, it's almost like they don't practice. It's really hard to watch.
I mean, you see it there. They don't even know where the ball's spotted right now.
Realistically, if Dante Allen went out, there's a lot of quarterbacks that want to play out there, veterans, solid veterans. How quick do you think they could make this team a decent team?
Oh, I think almost immediately, because the scheme has worked in the past. Dante Allen has had good teams here. The problem is you've got a bunch of football players that aren't football players. Okay, and there's case in point. Horrible handoff. The running back not wanting to run the ball. I don't know how you develop an offense with that kind of mentality.
Atlanta coach Dane Robinson has to think about pulling players right now. You don't want to go into Chicago hurt.
And Dante Allen from Omaha wanting to talk to his team. We've got him mic'd up tonight.
Hey, O-line, we still got to block. They're not blocking no one. No one. We got 3 people coming through. Block somebody, hit someone. We're not getting the chance to run because we're not blocking. We got to block. Our intensity is gone. Our intensity is low. We don't even care about this game anymore. Have some pride. Finish this game strong. I don't care what the score is. Finish this game strong. This is about pride right now. We've had 42 points going on in 3 games in a row. And no points on offense. Have some pride. Run the ball. Block. Don't forget how to play football. Let's go.
And Coach Dante Allen trying to ignite a fire. Atlanta up 42-0. We are back to LFL football night. And before we get underway here in the fourth quarter, let's visit with both teams.
Hey, start making some plays. Just because of the score, who cares? All right? Continue playing football. Continue playing football. Continue blocking. The game's not over yet. Don't quit right now. Do not quit. Let's go.
You, and you. I want that score to be 0. I swear to you. I'm going to flip shit, and I'm putting all my veterans out here. I swear, if they score a touchdown, I'm going to be so disappointed. I'm going to lose my shit. All right? You will not be the team that the Omaha scores their first touchdown on and get some type of sauce out of this. All right? I'm putting it on this entire group.
I agree with both coaches. Dane Robinson, he wants to throw a shutout tonight. No points. He doesn't want to be the team that Omaha scores on. Dante Allen, he's telling his players, you got to play football. You're down 42-0. Play for yourself. Play for pride. Try to score some points.
I mean, you just saw a shot of that. When you're down 42-0 on national television, they just seem very relaxed. Omaha does. And I don't know that a normal competitor would be so relaxed in that environment. And that's misdirection pitch out. Looked like a bit of miscommunication on a 3rd and 22 to Jessica Rip. And Rip is not very quick to get up here.
That's not what you want to have. One of your top players. There's only a handful of players that can play football, and she is absolutely one of them. You do not want her hurt now.
I think you've got 2 players on this entire roster, and she's one of them.
Solid player. I liked her as a quarterback. She had good fundamentals. I think she could probably excel there. Hopefully this is not a serious injury. She took a blow to the head, and hopefully she comes back from that.
Yeah, if that's a blow to the head or a concussion, do not expect Jessica Ripp to return to this game because the league protocol is very strict on any concussions and not returning to the game. So what a competitor, but her night is officially over. As we go to break here, we'll get another look at the hit. Back to fourth quarter action, and there's a look at Jessica Ripp. Let's go down to the field with Audra Marie.
Hi guys, I just spoke to the LFL medical staff and Jessica Ripp just suffered a concussion and she will not be back in the game. Back to you guys.
Obviously, she's dazed right now. The good news is she has 6 weeks to get better, and I'm pretty sure she'll be healthy for our next game.
And yet another injury for Omaha. They've been stockpiling injuries all season, making it that much tougher. Now a fourth down punt that was blocked. An unorthodox lineup for a punt. Nonetheless, that punt went about 5 yards, so that means Omaha will turn it over at about the 8-yard line.
Did that get blocked, or was that a whiff? I remember the only time I saw a whiff was the New York Giants in a windy afternoon in Giant Stadium where the ball actually blew away from the punter's foot. Did she whiff that?
Well, she can't blame the wind here. We've got an indoor arena. Shaylin Durham is the normal punter back there, but that looked like Amanda Hogan. And yeah, I believe she whiffed on that punt.
Now I know why Dante Allen does not want to punt because of that. He'd rather take a shot on 4th and 22.
And hand it off and gain a yard. Yeah, that's the only other alternative left. From the shotgun, Hughes, right side, quick slant. And I don't know that Jody Nettles wasn't expecting to get hit there.
Little skinny post right there. Jody Nettles, ball right on the money. The 2 outside receivers cleared out the DBs. I think she threw it a little bit hard. Great play, though.
Now, when you say skinny post, are you referring to the route or Jody Nettles?
Jody Nettles is skinny, but the skinny post is a quick post that you slide right between the safety and the cornerback.
I know the skinny post, Bobby. I was a backup high school quarterback.
That's why I had to explain it to you.
2nd and goal. Bad snap. And they're putting on a clinic of bad snaps tonight on both sides of the ball. Dakota Hughes recovering. But they'll lose about 6 yards on that.
I have never seen so many bad snaps in all my years in the LFL on both sides. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on.
And that was Dina Wojciechowski, the all-fantasy center for Atlanta, so that's a bit shocking. Certainly a lot to clean up before Chicago in a week.
Chicago also had some center quarterback exchange problems. Maybe there's an epidemic around the league.
I think it's just early on, and centers are getting used to quarterbacks and vice versa. Now a 3rd and goal play, ball at the 17. And Atlanta does not seem to be letting up here. From the shotgun, Dakota Hughes back to pass. Right side, wide open. And guess who it was? The skinny post, Jody Nettles.
You know why Jody Nettles never drops the ball? Because she has glue on her gloves. She could not spike the football. But what a pass by Dakota Hughes. Trip set to the right. They run 1 receiver inside, 1 outside, and Jody Nettles right down the pike for 6.
This passing game is perhaps one of the best, and I'm going to allude back to your year when you coached with the Miami Caliente and Ananka Dixon, Tina Cacavelli, that crew. This passing attack reminds me a little bit of that Showtime.
We did not run. We threw the ball every play because we had the talent to, and you're exactly right. Atlanta has that talent, but they have a better running game than we had.
And there's part of that running game. Jane Caldwell just rumbling over the Omaha defense. And that'll extend the lead to 49-0. A little over 7 minutes remaining. And Dakota Hughes finding Jody Nettles. Back to 4th quarter action here on LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco and Audra Marie in a game that is an absolute runaway, 49-0.
The Omaha defense, right now, they could not stop a nosebleed. It's unbelievable how many points are being scored on them.
Omaha's offense will now take over. Dickinson from the handoff, delayed handoff, Amanda Hogan. Hogan does manage 5 yards.
I think the handoff style was so bad that it did confuse the defense. was like a Houdini routine. She had the wrong hand on the ball, she whipped it around, and all of a sudden they got 6 yards.
I think there's something to be said for that. When you have a competent offense, you expect certain things. This is just an absolute crapshoot. At the snap of the ball, absolutely anything can happen.
You don't know. I mean, right now it looks like the offense is Amanda Hogan. I mean, the quarterback, you know, they probably felt pretty good because they did get the snap on that one, but there's no misdirection. They can't confuse this defense because there's nothing to get confused about.
2nd and 5 now, ball at the 20. Another handoff to Hogan. And Adrian Purnell just tossing her like a rag doll.
We spoke about this earlier, about the running style of some of these running backs. I mean, she's a good athlete, but watch how high she runs. Purnell just catches her high and throws her down like a WWE wrestler. Bam! You can't run on Adrian Purnell like that.
Yeah, this is just target shooting at this point. And to your point in the 3rd quarter, we are now inside of 6 minutes in the 4th quarter. I am puzzled as to why Leanne Harden, Keanne Harrison, Adrian Purnell are still in this ball game.
I agree. I mean, they're star players. I think a lot has to do with the players probably told the coach they want to play. That happens a lot more than you think.
Inmates running the asylum, I guess. That's a 3rd and 5 play. Amanda Hogan getting caught for a 2-yard loss. And Hogan's going to have a deep, salty bath tonight, as she's been absolutely battered and bruised all night.
I think she has to go in the ice tank first to get the bruises down, and then you go into the salt tank.
I wasn't ever much of an athlete, Bobby. We went right into the hot tub. That's where the girls were. 4th and 7 now, ball at the 18. Bobby and I are having fun up here. And this Omaha team wants to see this final 4:40 tick off very quickly, as they're just going to lick their wounds, have about 5.5 to 6 weeks to get ready for the Chicago Bliss back in Omaha.
I think you're right. I think they are just trying to run the clock down. They're not trying to throw. They haven't tried to throw all night, but you can't run against this Atlanta defense, as it's shown right there.
What a hit by Adrian Purnell. I think that was Harden that went low on Hogan, and Purnell just came over the top.
This is Dane Robinson football. Bam! Purnell over the top, plowing her into the ground. Dane Robinson has his team playing the entire 40 minutes. It doesn't matter that it's 49-0.
And Dakota Hughes still in this ball game. That offense will take over. I hate to keep harping on this point, but now you've got the star quarterback in the game with 4 minutes and you're up 49-0. This would be a good time, to your point earlier, to see Jane Caldwell at quarterback.
Well, you're going to need her. At some point during the season, if for whatever reason you don't want to see it, but if Dakota Hughes gets hurt, your backup quarterback needs experience, as we're seeing on the other side of the football tonight.
Absolutely, and there's that rookie that has really shined early in the season, Jesse Locklear. That was an 8-yard completion to Locklear.
That's a great point, though, Mitch. Now's the time, because you won't have time when you're playing the Chicagos or LAs. You're up 49-0. Give your backup quarterback some work.
Now a 2nd and 2 from the shotgun over the middle. Quick toss to Adrian Purnell. We've been bugging her all season. She's definitely had a case of the drops.
All thumbs on that catch, wide open. She could have moonwalked into the end zone. She's laughing about it right now, but that should have been 6 points.
I don't know that they're going to be looking to target her in Chicago. She's had a tough time in the passing game.
A great talent. If she could ever pull them in, catch the football, she could be a top offensive player.
Now a 3rd and 2, ball at the 12. Fake handoff, going to try the right side. Quick strike. That to Lauren Ziegler, cutting across the middle. And just diving into the end zone is Ziegler.
Wow, that's the best worm I've seen in a long time. But what I like about Ziegler is her yak, Y-A-C. After she catches the football, just a hitch pattern. Right on the money by Dakota, but watch, after she gets the football, cuts it inside, breaks a tackle, outruns the secondary into the end zone. Great yak.
A la Jerry Rice, John Taylor, those guys that would turn a 5-yard slant into an 80-yard home run. That is what Lauren Ziegler's done all night tonight. Now a little over 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Again from the wishbone on the extra point, and that's again Jane Caldwell. Caldwell getting in. And now this game is ugly, 56-0.
I hope Jane Caldwell doesn't get overconfident about LFL USA. It's not going to be this easy against Chicago.
That's an excellent point. This could be a bit of a wake-up call in about a week.
Yes.
When you're heading to the south side of Chicago, especially when you're facing the likes of Nneka Nwani, Dina Fagiano, Jamie Barwick. That is a physical team in Chicago.
I'm really looking forward to that game. Allie Alberts, Heather Furr. That's football. We're going to be getting back to real LFL football next week.
And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning.
Timeout. 2-minute warning.
And a game completely out of hand, 56-0. Goliath dominating David. Back to LFL football night, and boy, do we have a matchup for you next week. It's Lauren Ziegler and the Atlanta Steam traveling to the south side to take on Allie Alberts in the Chicago Bliss.
Two great quarterbacks, Heather Furr, Dakota Hughes for Atlanta. I can't wait.
Now let's go down to Audra Marie.
Hi guys, I'm on the field with Coach Robinson. Coach, you guys have a major rivalry with Chicago. How do you feel about this monster matchup on May the 10th? And tell me, why all this bad blood? How do you really feel about Chicago?
You know what, for us, it's a huge matchup. It's something that we have to do. We have to play at a perfect level because simply we had to dethrone the champs. You know, honestly, all the facade about them being, classy or them being respectful champs, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. We don't buy into that, but facts are facts. We're 0-2 against Chicago Bliss. We're going to fix that next week, period.
Another matchup that I cannot wait for. Chicago's Keith Hack against Dane Robinson. Who do you like in that matchup?
I don't know. They're both pretty intense guys. I don't think I'd want to be in a boxing ring or a dark alley with either of them.
Two tough coaches, two great coaches. Should be a great football game.
Now Omaha taking over from the 15. Ashley Dickinson still under center. Another bad snap. And absolutely no blocking up front. Leads to Amanda Hogan on her back again.
You know the old saying, you can hear a good tackle. They are getting killed right now. That was a great tackle, but again, no blocking up front.
You know what? And that also is something alarming. When you're getting beat up like that as a runner, how can you just stand up and go back to the huddle and have nothing to say? To have no frustration? That speaks volumes to me.
Absolutely. All the intensity we see on the other side of the ball with Atlanta, you see zero with Omaha.
I mean, literally, it is a pig being led to slaughter every play. Every play.
At least the pig gets upset.
This is almost zombie football to me, and this is all the more reason that I think this team needs to be blown up in this next 5 weeks, so when they return to action on June 13th, they're somewhat respectable.
There's a lot of time to do that. For real, they bring a couple stud players in here, and they can be a competitive football team.
Yeah, again, I like Amanda Hogan. I like Jessica Ripp. If Jenna Holt is healthy, that hamstring holds up. I like her. So there is some potential on this roster. I think this Ashley Dickinson is one of those that need to be led to pasture. You need intensity from these players. And they're coming slinging the rock now, which makes no sense with 25 seconds remaining, and you've been running the ball the entire game. Where is the coaching logic there?
That's the first pass we saw all night long, and it was probably, not to get on her again, but there was no technique or drop back. It wasn't even a drop back. It was like a shuffle to the left. She's never been taught anything. Again, that's coaching.
4th and 7 now from the Omaha 18. And if they're smart, they'll just run out the clock and get home. And that's it. They won't even let him take a knee. You see how quick Coco Montgomery went flying in there. Nothing has come easy for this offense tonight. And I believe that turns it over on down. So we're going to stay here with a little over 21 seconds remaining. Is this the mercy rule now?
I mean, everything they do is wrong. She lifted her leg to put somebody in motion, but nobody went in motion before she got killed. I mean, you can't write the book of, you could write the book, how not to play football.
This is absolutely football for dummies on the Omaha side. And not a lot of football, a lot of dummies.
Look at the intensity in Dakota's eyes. I think they're going to try to score again.
A 1st and 10 now from the 17. Fakes the handoff, rolls left. Dump off to Coco Montgomery. And the all-fantasy tight end gets in. With only 14 seconds remaining, they post 60+. That was a quick little dump off in the flat and nobody in front of Montgomery.
I like the play selection. Naked bootleg to the left. Coco Montgomery all by herself walked in the end zone, and now celebration begins.
They wanted to get her that score and play the Coco song. Have you ever heard of the Coco song, Bobby?
I love that Coco song.
You've never heard of the Coco song.
Should I sing it?
I think you should dance to it in the booth here.
Hear it? There it is. That's where they start to drop that kitty down low.
Oh man, 14 seconds remaining. And I'm starting to feel like Omaha. I want to get out of here.
62-0. Not as bad as the last time. What was it, 79-0?
79-0 the last time they saw each other in Omaha. Once again, this is a tune-up game, as you said earlier, but perhaps a scrimmage, because obviously the real show is in about 7 days in Chicago.
I hate to say it, but it wasn't even a scrimmage. I mean, a scrimmage, you get practice, you get to work on stuff. I mean, you can't get your defense ready when there's no offensive scheme on the other side.
Yeah, that's tough. You've got to play with somebody that is of your level. Otherwise, you're not progressing if you're Atlanta. And Shaylin Durham, she had a good night to start, but went out with an injury. Now the final 10 seconds, and let's hope they take a knee here. Took a step back, but there's your knee. I've never seen a team behind take a knee, but hey, it's the mercy rule here.
We've seen it all with Omaha. That's a great point. 62-0, they're taking a knee.
somebody may want to tell them that they're losing. But that's it. That'll bring us to the end of the game here. Dakota Hughes, another impressive night.
For Omaha and Dante Allen, the coach has 5 weeks to resurrect this ship.
And that 5 weeks will come and go quickly as they face Chicago on June 13. Tonight, it was all Atlanta. A physical game and one that Omaha came into a buzzsaw. Offensively, defensively, Atlanta dominated. For Bobby Huco, Audra Marie Walterhouse, this is Mitch Mortaza, and we will see you next week on LFL Football Night.